y'all, my name is Paulina and welcome to my kitchen where my goal is to bring you along and help you make some very delicious, easy, and affordable vegan meals. Today we're going to be making two different kinds of appetizers that are perfect to bring to any holiday party. They are warm, savory, and no more than 5 ingredients. The first one is going to be sun-dried tomato and basil pinwheels, and the second one is going to be a nice and creamy spinach and caramelized onion dip. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, then stick around. For this recipe, you're going to need some puff pastry. This is by the brand Tante Fanny and it's called Blätterteig in German. I found it at my Rewe. And you're also going to need 150 grams of sun-dried tomatoes, 100 grams of unsalted cashews, a handful of basil, and a drizzle of good olive oil. Here I am just combining everything in a tiny food processor, and I am going to pulse that just a few times. Don't want to have it such a creamy paste, rather just this nice chunky mixture. After a few pulses, this is what it should look like. Next up, you're going to want to roll out your dough. Mine, unfortunately, was a bit too warm, so it made it hard to work with, but I definitely recommend having it in the fridge for a while before you use it. My sun-dried tomatoes were pre-seasoned, so at this point you might want to add salt or pepper if yours weren't, and you are just going to spread that mixture evenly on the pastry. Once you have that lovely spread on all the corners, you're just going to roll it up, and quite frankly at this point I definitely made it look significantly harder than it is, but that's definitely because my dough wasn't cold enough. But yeah, you're just going to roll from the bottom all the way up until you have a nice little log. Y'all, as if 2020 hasn't given us enough challenges, I chose not to use my larger cutting board for whatever reason, which was so silly because the dough didn't even fit on it. But yes, at one point I cut this mixture in half so it would all fit, and then I cut about 1-inch slices. They're supposed to look like rounds at this point. Like I said, my dough was way too warm, but I know you'll excel and have the most beautiful, perfect circular rounds. If you're like me and you've made it this far, congrats trying to salvage your melting madness, but this is how it's going to look like before you pop it into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit or 175 Celsius for about 12 to 15 minutes. This is them done. They are buttery and flaky, packed with flavor from the sun-dried tomato and basil, and have a little bit of crunch from the cashew, and I just think they are a super easy finger food that everyone will enjoy. For this recipe, you'll need about 250 grams of spinach, 6 cloves of garlic, 100 grams of cashews, a can of white beans, and 4 small onions. First things first, we're going to slice those onions. I know it seems like a lot, but we are going to caramelize the hell out of them so we can get a ton of flavor, and since there are minimal ingredients, we really want to take advantage of each one. I have my wok super hot right now, and I threw in some water because I don't want to add extra oil at this point, and I'm just going to throw them all in, and if it needs more water, then I'll be adding it in increments. So you do want your onions to look like this, with this deep rich color, because that is when it does have the most flavor, and it's going to take some time, but just be patient with it. And at this point you're going to add in your heaps of garlic. I absolutely love garlic. If you want to add less, it's completely up to you though. So now in my tiny little processor, we're going to be adding in the 100 grams of cashews and about 200 milliliters of water, and only half of the caramelized onion mixture. We want to save the rest for the dip. Y'all, thank God for voiceovers, because at this point I think I was screaming because the hot water was flying everywhere onto my arm, and that happens when you have a cheap little processor. Nevertheless, I was successful in making it all blend together well. Since it's a little tiny thing, I wanted to make sure I didn't overpower it, but if you have a bigger one, you can put everything in at once. At this point, I added my beans that I had rinsed and strained to the mixture, and this is what it should look like. To your remaining caramelized onion mixture, we're just going to add that 250 grams of spinach now. I just left them as full leaves, and we are adding that creamy base in and giving it a good stir. At this point, you're going to want to add any salt and pepper to taste. or nutritional yeast. It's completely optional, but if you would like it to have a bit of a cheesy flavor, I definitely recommend. So this is what it's going to look like when you're all done. I served it alongside some baked pita chips, but you can also enjoy it maybe with some carrots. I just wasn't feeling that healthy today. So which appetizer would you guys like to try? Let me know down in the comments below. Or if you have a video idea for the channel, I'd love to hear it as well. I'm super excited to be starting up my channel and we'll be having weekly videos. So stay tuned and subscribe if you'd like. And you can also follow me on my food Instagram at No Cats Just Plants for more vegan food recipe inspo. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will catch you guys next video.